Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us on International Color Day to celebrate our 15th Fluorescent Friday event. My name is Dr. Lina Cardenas, and I'll be your host today. I'm an assistant professor at the School of Design at the Pontificia Universidad Católica de Chile. Before we begin, I'd like to ask you to keep your cameras off and mic muted during the event. Thank you. Please use the chat box to tell us who you are, where you're from, and your affiliation with a university, company, or another organization. We are all part of the global color community, and we want to hear from you. The Inter-Society Color Council created Fluorescent Fridays as a global platform for university students from all disciplines to network with color professionals and fellow students and to share state-of-the-art resources about color's role in our lives and application in the world. I would like to invite you to visit our website to learn about upcoming events. Join our mailing list and learn about the benefits of becoming a member. You can also check our videos from previous Fluorescent Fridays, along with many other resources. Today's event celebrates International Color Day and is titled Color with a Purpose in Product Design. This event shines the Fluorescent Friday spotlight on Gisela Monteiro and her design students, Josué and Pedro Viana, from the Federal Fluminense University in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. They will share with us how they designed and conducted the Color with Purpose workshop to validate the exercises and teaching materials formulated by the Color Literacy Project. This includes the application of color in drawings of real objects such as furniture and clothing. The objective of this series of exercises is to empower students to use their color knowledge to create and justify their choices in studio projects, combining intuition and objectivity in the process. That is why the workshop was named Color with Purpose. The timeline for our presentation is 60 minutes. After the presentation, there will be a 10-minute Q&A session with the audience. During the presentations, we encourage you to type your questions and comments in the chat box so the speakers can address them during the Q&A session. Our first speaker is Gisela Monteiro, an associate professor in the Department of Design and Technology at Fluminense Federal University, UFF, in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, where she teaches in the Industrial Design undergraduate program. In an academic career focused on design, Gisela works in the fields of graphic and product design with an emphasis on apparel production. She coordinates the Color Applied to Design project at UAF, developed in partnership with Professor Dr. Robert Hirschler, with the aim of implementing a course dedicated to teaching color to designers. Bringing research and practice, she created Color Crea in 2020 as a tool designed to help designers justify the color choices in collection projects. Gisela, welcome to Fluorescent Fridays. The screen is yours.
Hello, Lina. Hello, everybody. Today we are going to present the project called Color with Purpose, which is a research and an outreach project from the Department of Design and Technology at the Fluminense Federal University, which we call UFF. But first, let's take a look at our university campus. Then I invite you to watch a video we have prepared.
Cristo Redentor, braços abertos sobre a Guanabara. Este samba é só porque, Rio, eu gosto de você. A morena vai sambar, seu corpo todo balançar. Rio de sol, de céu, de mar. Dentro de mais um minuto estaremos no galeão. Esse samba é só porque, Rio, eu gosto de você. A morena vai sambar, seu corpo todo balançar. Aperte o cinto, vamos chegar.
Well, my name is Gisela Monteiro, and I'm a professor at UFF and the coordinator of this project. So I think it's important to tell you a little bit about myself, how I became interested in the topic of color, and why I proposed the creation of this project. In fact, I have studied design my entire life. In 1995, I graduated in both product and graphic design. In 2009, I completed my master's degree in design, and in 2018, my PhD. One of the results of my PhD was the creation of a perforated three-dimensional matrix designed to hold color samples and represent their position within a color space. I named it Color Crea. I also invited Professor Hischler, our partner of the present project, to co-author a paper on the subject with me, and we presented it at IC Milan in 2021. I think it's worth mentioning that I met Professor Hischler through Senai-CETICT, the institution where we both worked. In my case, I started working there in 2010 as a design teacher. Let's speak a little bit about Color Crea. The title of the paper that we presented at IC Milan in 2021 was a Mount-It-Yourself 3D color model for designers. As you can see in the images, there are two models, one representing Mansell and the other NCS. Each model comes with its own atlas to help designers visualize the color positions and their relationships. However, as you will see in the next slide, the story of color related to education and creativity was just beginning. Throughout my career, I divided my time between the classroom and the design office until 2020, when I started teaching at UFF in the product design program. Today, I am a full-time professor at UFF, which is a public university. That means I teach and also conduct the research at the university. There, at UFF, color is a topic covered in the three subjects I teach: drawing, visual communication, and graphic production. But I wanted to teach a course dedicated only to color, so I searched the university system to see if there was already a syllabus on the subject. However, there was nothing across the entire UFF, which really surprised me, as this is a topic I consider very important. So I invited Professor Hischler once again, this time to help me to design a course specifically about color. We officially started the project in 2023. So I proposed a 5-year project, and now in 2025, we are entering in the third year. As you can see in blue, we have two main focuses, creativity and the production process. However, during our second year, we had to take a step back to address color terminology in Portuguese because we found many inconsistencies. As a graphic designer, I'm particularly interested in the graphic elements applied to products, such as typography, images, and especially colors. Colors play a key role throughout the design process, from the initial selection to achieving the desired result in the final project. Now, we are going to present our team, and I invite Pedro and Josué to do this.
Thank you, Gisela, for that wonderful presentation. Our next speaker is Pedro Viana, an industrial design student at Fluminense Federal University. Focused on teaching and art direction, Pedro is currently working as a design assistant, gaining practical experience in the field. His goal is to become a design lecturer, contributing to the academic development of future designers. Pedro, welcome to Fluorescent Fridays.
Thank you, Gisela and Lina. Hello there, everyone. It's an honor to be here with you today. Before we get started, let me just introduce our team, which of course composed by Professor Gisela Monteiro here, our leader and creator of this whole project, Professor Robert Hischler, with us as a pro bono partner since the early stages, and my good friend Josué Neves and I as scholarship holder and volunteer students. Also, we were joined by Professors Camila Assis and Paloma Carvalho, both from different universities in Rio de Janeiro. I have to mention that this project is part of the Department of Design and Technology at UFF, supported by Professors Luisa Rabilo, Giuseppe Amado, and Renata Villanova. To develop a proper course on color, a deep research in this book, the 8 first chapters, so we could facilitate things a little for us. To continue the project, a paper was required by the university regarding the development goals we set for the project, which was the workshop itself and the translation of the book I just mentioned. Our first workshop, Color with Purpose, occurred in November 10th, 2023 at UFF and was attended by 10 students in total. We chose these numbers so we could have a quicker feedback and a better time management since it was just our first testing and that we didn't have much time, honestly. We divided this workshop into 2 stages, theory and practice. We wrote down a schedule for ourselves and for the students. In the theoretical section, each of us was assigned with different topics. For the practical one, we gave them a few coloring tools as well as some printouts. All the exercises we created were based on White's illusion and Kafka's rings. There are 2 optical illusions that show how a single color can appear different to our minds, depending on the context they're in. And you can see now on the screen. These illusions and these illusions and exercises layouts were based on the ones we found on the Color Literacy Project website, of which you can access by the QR code on screen, I believe. The Color Lit, as we call it, is an initiative that aims sharing color education for everyone anywhere. And I kindly ask you to check this website. This is a good source of information for anyone who's interested in color and teaching. It's a good something so you could check. We took Color Lit's exercise as layout due to its didactic format. They gave us instructions on the exercises and the materials required. But we also tried to maintain a certain visual harmony between UFS requirements and the Color Lit's philosophy. By the end, we ended up elaborating a few exercises and 2 practical guides with information and instructions in the tasks. The students had a very positive reception for the workshop. to both theory and practice. Half of them weren't very familiar with the subject, but the other had some previous knowledge. One thing that makes me really happy is that we're quick to notice that even though they had never experienced colors this way before, they were easily able to apply the concepts in the workshop and show the desire for more content in the topic of color, which for us was so good because we realized that our work paid off, that people really enjoyed it, that we're going for the right way. And to give you guys a few more details on the adaptation of these exercises to our academic reality, I'm gonna call my good friend Josué here.
Thank you, Pedro, for the wonderful introduction. And our third speaker is Josué Neves, who is also an undergrad student in industrial design at the Fluminense Federal University. Josué is part of an extension project focused on bringing modern color studies into the field of design at his university. His interest in color stems from his passion for art, having worked as a freelance illustrator and graphic designer. Josué, welcome to Fluorescent Fridays. The screen is yours.
Thank you, Lina. Thank you, Pedro. Well, to develop a little more on each of the exercises we made, I'll start with the white solution sketch. The task consisted on coloring a shape in alternating stripes. The first step was to draw lightly draw a shape with a pencil on both sides of the sandal. Then coloring the stripes. On one side, you surround the shape with a black marker. On the other, you color over the shape. After all that, with a color of your choosing, cover the shape drawn. And then the subsequent drawings were there to make the task more elaborated. The sheet also included a small section so that students could select their colors before painting. We also constructed a physical model of white solution to assist the students' comprehension. This model was made by cutting 15 parallel equidistant lines into a black sheet of paper, alternating between black and white. Then, two identical figures were cut out of an orange paper and positioned so one of them was under the black lines and the other one under the white lines. The result was a physical interaction, a physical display of the white solution that could be interacted with. One of the students, Fernanda Arantes, even stated, "I thought it was a Photoshop trick. I only believed once I saw it happen on the physical model." More on the exercises development. In addition to the exercises being design products, we needed to make some adjustments to make the project economically feasible at a public university and to fit our financial reality, such as printing in black and white paper and organizing the space to reduce the amount of paper used, also contributing to the reduction on waste production. The Kafka's ring exercises consisted in 3 different tasks: a piece of furniture that opens and closes its doors, a pair of sandal slides that come together and move apart, and a jacket that opens and closes its arms, showcasing the illusion in different and creative ways. The furniture required the participants to paint using a color of a darker, a lighter, and a third color of a neutral value. Then, cutting out the rectangles, they will be the doors of the piece. You could use the cutouts positioned on top of the drawing to move them towards or away from each other. On the sandal slides, the first step is to cut the paper according to the instructions and fold it so the sandals get very close to each other. Then, draw a whole shape connecting both sandals with a neutral color. And at last, you color the sandals with a dark and a lighter color respectively. For the jacket, you must first cut out the sleeves, then with a pin, you stick the sleeves to the sides of the jacket. After that, with a color of your choice, draw a simple shape connecting the sleeves to the body and paint either the body or the sleeves with a black marker. Amongst the exercises, the students were most enthusiastic about the jacket and white solution sounds. Some saying again that they only believed once they saw it happen with aid of the physical model and also in the exercises, rather than seeing it happen on the screen. Another tool used was a camera filter from Instagram that turned images into grayscale, thus allowing the participants to see the value contrast between the colors that they wish to use before actually coloring the exercises. This ended up speeding up the coloring process and helping us with time management. Now I'll bring back Pedro to keep the presentation.
Thank you, buddy. After this first test we hosted the second workshop, Experiments with Colors and Lights for Designers, which occurred in September 10th, 2024. And I think it lasted around 1 hour and a half or so, where Professor Hischler brought to the students various materials so he could demonstrate the phenomenon of color perception through experiments that many had never seen in person before, which facilitated the understanding of topics covered in class. This time, the workshop participants consisted of both UFF students and students from Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, the UFRJ, also including some professors, which was a huge step from where we started. Later in the month, we participated in the conference organized by the International Color Association, AIC, in São Paulo. During the event, we presented two papers, one on the results of the work developed in the previous year, and another on an ongoing action focused on the search for terminological consistency of color attributes in Portuguese language. Additionally, we had the opportunity to engage with the international color community, discussing the application of didactic activities through games, a very innovative approach to promoting color comprehension, and something I have never seen before. Participating in this Congress was a great opportunity for us, so we could share our work and exchange experience with professionals in the field. During the conference, as I say, Professor Gisela spoke about an ongoing action that deals with the lack of terminology consistency on subject of color. Our goal is to initiate a more consistent and effective dialogue among Portuguese speakers who use color in their professional activities. We believe that if students and professionals encounter a more consistent literature on color, this subject will start to be seen with the seriousness it deserves, and something that doesn't happen very oftenly. And also will help to avoid possible communication breakdowns among all the peers. With all this experience during the conference, we developed the concept of an educational game designed to train visual perception of colors. It was based on the Munker-White's illusion, and we named color Connect Cores. Connect Cores, or Connect Colors, consist of 11 square cards with black and white stripes, on which 3 colored or achromatic, depends on the card, rectangles appear. The idea is for players to connect the cards according to the transition of shades and contrast. It's similar to the domino game, but with a focus on color relationships. Our main goal is to help children from age of 5 to observe and understand the subtle interactions between different shades and contrasts, enhancing visual perception in a fun and educational way, which is our main goal of this whole project. And now back to you, Josué.
Thank you. Well, the last workshop of 2024 happened on December 10th, concluding the project's goal of the year. It took place at the UFF during one of Professor Gisela's classes, and it had an exercise. We started the whole presentation with an exercise that was a game named From a Coloring Starting Set by Joey Shibosh, followed by an explanation about the main characteristics of color and its applications in graphic design. During the workshop, we saw once again the success of Colors Lit method of experiencing colors before learning the theory through the students' reception to the game problem. At the beginning of 2025, we started to develop a social media presence, still at its early stages, but with the goal of documenting the project's developments and accomplishments, but also showcasing different product applications of various color concepts. Being a part of a course on design, we want to go beyond the still very important aesthetics by bringing up the question, how can we use colors with purpose? How can we all as a community use colors with purpose on everyday work? After these years of project, we can easily say that our biggest challenge, besides answering that question, was to find a way to present the subject of color in an appealing and engaging way, yet maintaining the illusion's integrities in the materials that we use. The materials itself brought some new challenges, such as finding a common ground between properly translating the terms to our native language, and also democratizing a knowledge that many judge rather complex or even too simple. The process of implementing Colors Lit model of experiencing colors to our academic reality has been a great opportunity. We were able to give our fellow students some tangible understanding of the phenomena that we most of the time only hear about and only have a superficial look at it. So we were able to delve deeper. In the upcoming years, our main goal is to further develop the research on color terminology, as well as the creation and subsequent application of educational material for those who work on the field of design, and the eventual creation of a course syllabus on the subject of color at our university. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And if I may, I like to ask you, everyone. I see have so many friends from UFF in here and other places. But if you felt somehow interested about knowing more of our project or even participating in it, to call us if you have our number or even DM us in our Instagram. So it's a project made with students, for students, and for everyone. So if you feel like, okay, I want to know what's about it, I don't know, just give a call. Just call us. We would be really happy to talk about it with you.
Well, thank you, Gisela, Pedro, and Josué, for that wonderful presentation and for sharing the work you have done in Brazil. Now, I would like to encourage you, all the participants, to write your questions for our speakers in the chat box. And okay, there's one question from Luan. Can you share more with us about how you develop the workshops and what the biggest hurdles have been in the process? Who wants to answer
Yeah.
that? All of you?
I can answer that.
Okay.
So can you repeat again? Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, you can.
Sorry. Can you share more with us about how you develop the workshops and what the biggest hurdles have been in the process? The biggest
During
problems,
this,
yeah,
the-
biggest
it was
challenges, yeah.
definitely finding a way to, again, like properly translate the illusions and to also understand, okay, the big question, right? How can we apply it to the color with purpose, with intention on design? So finding products that fit a little bit our reality and could exemplify those illusions that we wish to demonstrate. And the illusions itself, choosing them, I believe it was Professor Gisela who chose them for us. And we were starting to look at them and see, okay, what are the knowledge that the students need to have to also understand how everything is happening in White's illusion and Kafka's ring, and what are the knowledge they can take away from this and they can use to apply to design. So I think the whole process of figuring out and testing out these exercises to see the limits of those illusions. We had many scrap designs that we didn't use because they went too far or they were too complex and the illusion didn't work. So that was a very interesting step of the whole process. Mitigating that, we have also the time that it took for the students to complete those exercises. We had some friends. Pedro was one of them who started as someone who was testing the exercises for me, and then he joined us. But to understand how long they would have to finish and how can we make the process more easy, and but also without taking too much shortcuts to avoid. We didn't want to explain less, but we want to fit everything that we wanted in a feasible timeline.
It's kind of crazy to think how many tryouts we had all this times before the workshop itself, because we said months trying and trying again and saying, okay, this is not working, okay, this is working, and which was really fun to me because Josué mentioned I participated in the tests because I wasn't originally part of the project. One day Josué just called me and said, oh, I'm participating in this project. I had to try something we're gonna do for the students in the workshop. I need someone to see if it's working. And I just thought, okay, why not? And this was the best question I made to myself because I started singing it and I was participating. I'm thinking, okay, I think it demands too much time to do these exercises. I think this is not really cool. It's kind of boring, actually. Why can't we change this part? This is not working to me. And after all this time, I just said, man, I'm part of this team, right? I have to be in it. And thankfully, Gisela gave me the permission to participate and call me to join the team. And it's been a while we've been together, and it's been a thrill because trying out and as Josué said, seeing how we can adapt it, not only translating things and just copy and pasting, but adapting to our reality, because we are in a public university, and to make things work for us, we have to make certain changes, certain we had to try a lot, actually, talk to a lot of people to make things work. And I'm really happy that it worked. It's working until now.
Thank you.
Thank you for those insights into your process. Can you tell us a little bit more about how many people were involved in developing the projects? Were they additional students, more faculty? How did you finally select the ones that were selected?
Actually, at the beginning, it was, I believe I can say it was Professor Gisela, Josué, and Professor Hichler. They became with their online classes and everything. And then we started the testing, realizing what we were going to do. So I came in and we asked a few other professors at UFF from other departments even. So we had a plan to use 3D models. We tried out. We went to the college on Saturdays to make it work. It didn't at the time. We're still trying to figure out how it's going to go. And then a few friends of ours, Eric, Marceli, and other friends, even helped us with some tips. And as I became part of the project, we felt that I was too in to have the look of someone who's outside. So they helped us now checking out the things we couldn't. So because we are so inside of the project.
I think that it's interesting if you or Josué shows the last exercise that we posted yesterday on our Instagram. and explain to the people. Can you share, Josué, our screen?
Can just a minute.
I think that it's going to be interesting because it's our we are making lots of exercise, lots of examples, and we are posting them.
I was actually going to just ask you that question. Are you continuing to make other exercises, and is the best place to see them on your social media site?
Yeah, when we put in our social media when we finished an exercise, finished and tested, and then we post it. And now we are, for example, now we have a professor of my department, Professor Giuseppe, that he wants to make an exercise for ergonomia and color. Ergonomics and color. And then we are going to prepare this exercise. This is one of the exercises that we are going to prepare this year with our team at the university. But I think that, Josué, can you?
Yes. And also, as you said, in 2025, we really want to make more exercises and some variants of the ones we did back in 2023. Those who explain different aspects and different color characteristics for not only students, but also for anyone who works on the field of design. So our role really is to bring this knowledge to really anyone who works on the creative field, because we know that this is a topic that many can benefit from. And this is our Instagram, the QR code. And here's the latest post we did. Was a mock-up application of the White Solution sandals. So in each pair of the sandal, we implemented the White Solution design with a palm tree, because why not? But we want to keep using both creating more exercises, which it takes a while. It's a challenging thing, but it's a very rewarding thing as well, because we want to make that available for anyone. And also we will be posting some applications of some of the concepts that we study on products in our Instagram.
Thank you. There's another question here.
Yeah, yes, I think that Yasmin Ramalhete asked us what are the troubles related in Portuguese, and that's our goal. Our goal in this year, because we need to Professor Hichler and us need to maintain a vocabulary in Portuguese, that it's a consistent vocabulary in Portuguese, because we have one or more words with different meanings, and this makes a very confusion scenarios for us. And this is that why did I answer the Yasmin?
I think I don't know. It says, let's see. It says what is the misunderstanding that happens the most when it comes to the lack of common terminology related to colors in Portuguese.
I think
Professor
also
Hichler.
May I say something here?
Yes. Thanks a lot.
You know, the problem is when you start reading text in Portuguese or translating from English into Portuguese, then you encounter a word, and I would like to give an example. Tonalidade is normally meant as hue,
Yes.
But for others, it means a grayscale. When you want to translate lightness, some people translate it brillo, which is brightness or gloss. So you have this one word translated in different ways, or you have one concept with different words, or one word with different concepts. And these concepts may not necessarily be aligned. As I said, the same word can mean for some people grayscale, for some people hue, which is, you can't resolve it. It has to be somehow understood what is meant by what. So we have to clarify the concepts behind each word. And what we have done so far, collected like 160 publications, original Portuguese and translated. And we are working through those publications now. It will take a few months to see who does mean what by what.
Yeah, I want to compliment on that. It's not only the Portuguese, it's also the Spanish. And I think and that's one way that you're helping a lot with the color literacy project.
Lina, the bad news is that it's also in English. You don't need to translate to have a confusion.
No, I think it's because it's color relates to a lot of disciplines, and each discipline had its own name for certain things, even though they're the same thing or different, but there's some confusion. Anyway, there's another question for Gisela. Can you share with us your thoughts about why color was not a subject at the university, and what has been the impact on the university as you have shared the project developments? Are they open to new courses for students in design fields at the university?
What is this? What is your question? What is this? Can you share with us thought? Tá. Tá. Wait a minute.
Okay. All right. Lina's asking me to say it. Gisela, we're interested also with the Color Literacy Project, what you are doing and with your students, and also what is the university's response? Are they thinking about, we can have new courses? Are they are they open to new courses about color? That's really important because you're doing all this great work, and we're hoping to have this catch on and have the administration say, oh my goodness, let's change this. So what's happening for you? What's happening at the university, and how are they responding to what you're doing?
I think that the university is very can I say an open university, in the kind that they accept new researches in the area, and the research of color in the area. I think that they incentivize. How can I say incentivate? They incentivar, Josué. Incentivate.
Support.
They incentive.
Yeah.
Support. They support us, our researches in the area of color, and I think that this subject, it's not only about design, but it started in the design field. I think that it's a subject that can interest for all the university, but we are only starting. And we are step by step, and to do our intention is to do a consistent subject, not a very big subject, but a consistent subject, starting with design area. And I think that's another question. If we are in contact with Portuguese researchers. We have been the opportunity last year to go to the IC Congress, and then we met the Portuguese researchers there, and we are in contact with them. And Professor Hichler also knows and have been he told them the project, and they demonstrates that they are interested in the subject also. And I think, and then they told us that it's a problem there too, in Portugal.
But Luisa, if you feel interested in talking about with us more about the cooperating, we'd be really thrilled. So you can call us or DM us, or maybe email us.
No,
I don't think
I
there's
think
there's a
that's
mail for
Professor
Luisa.
Luisa. That told
Uh,
that made, I think that's Professor Luisa that made this question.
yeah. Uh, if you want to, we are very open for that.
Okay.
So another question connecting to the color literacy project for the gentleman here. How are other students responding to your work with color, especially how color literacy knowledge applies to various fields they are working on?
I think that's it's for me, this question.
Yes, Pedro and Jose.
Pedro for them. Okay, I think that Pedro and Josué.
I think at first with the workshop that we did, we had a lot of excitement of the students who participate. We were sad that we were only able to implement one in 2023 because a lot of the students, again, we weren't able to take in too many students because of the limitations of the physical space, but they were all of those who interacted with all these auto color lit philosophies and all the works that we adapted. They were very excited about both the practice and the theory. Many of them were very interested to know more about the color phenomena and everything relating like all the colors characteristics, and it is such an extensive field, right? And we only barely scratch it with the workshop. So I think we want to expose ourselves more so more students know about the project and get interested. Also because we want to have more people working with us. As Pedro stated earlier, we are very much open to more volunteer students to join us and to learn together, so we can spread more and more this desire for learning more about color. But yeah, the process to actually turning it into a course is a bit long. So right now we especially with the Instagram, we are aiming to reach more students and more of our colleagues getting interested and also facilitating the access to this information, not to only limit it to 1, 2, 3 different workshops a year. We want to make this information more accessible. Pedro wants to chime in a little bit.
I think a lot of comments in the chat are asking about next workshops and next projects and how soon they can get involved. So it seems to be a very popular topic for the people who are here. Luann has also posted the colorliteracy.org website. There was a question earlier in the chat about resources, research resources. That's a good place to go to get started to look for research in the area, because the Color Literacy Project is a research-based program. Along that line, I was wondering, did you do a formal evaluation of your workshop with your students, with your participants? And have you summarized any data related to that you can report on?
We have the means of evaluation we used was Google Forms. We thought this was a way to make things easier for everybody, so everyone could get their phones and evaluate it. We kept some their insights and everything that they are told us at our drive. Uh, we used this in the first workshop to work on to develop the second one, and we're still in this work this year. This our third year. We believe this is a year of expansion. We are trying to connect more with people around the university, around the city, around the states, other universities, and people everywhere who's trying to work with us. So we're expanding things, and we are using these reports. We're having to create something new. We're still on our early stages, as we're saying. We're going for with baby steps. I believe I can say, but we are trying to use all these reviews to help us.
Yes, but again, we use Google Forms mostly for gathering this information, the feedback of the students. But again, because we didn't have that many opportunity of many workshops, I don't think we have a big enough database to actually give some strong like results in that sense. But yeah, as Pedro says, we are working on expanding, and by doing that, we will have a bigger source of people who can give their feedback on the workshop for us.
Thank you.
And I
All
have
right.
another question about where can we get the instructions or download a file on your Color Connect game?
We are sure to make
We
that
haven't
available.
published it yet.
Yeah.
We haven't published it yet. We have the article.
Yeah, we will most
Paper.
likely make that available in our Instagram,
Yeah.
probably through a link on our bio. We are still compiling because we're starting our social media presence and this more outreach approach, right? We are starting to compile all this information and make it all available on our Instagram and other platforms, so people can easily access them. So very soon in our Instagram is the short answer.
So
We
there was a
have already
request.
wrote.
Sorry.
We wrote last year a paper for this for the explaining the game, but now we did not share the content the game yet. Only a paper until now.
So in the chat, they're once again asking for the best way to contact you.
I think that's
we have.
I have answered the question here from Luisa, but I'm gonna share to everybody so it's easier for everyone who's interested. And here it is.
Thank you, Pedro. All right. Do we have more questions?
I would like to see.
Yeah, there's one more. Can you share a bit more about the importance of providing more time to work with the exercises in order to really make a difference in color literacy skills? Color education has not been a priority, and you're advocating for a substantial workshop and education process?
As designers, we are focused to create things that appeal to people's minds, solve problems in a way that appeals to people's minds. And colors is part of everything we do. Either it's product, it's graphic, but it's something that sometimes it's like, oh, we can just make it blue, make it yellow, and that's nice. And we have a lot of ways to study the way colors can be used in this process. A way of think more about it, not only doing. And I believe it's important that we think more, just to think a little bit more about how we are using these colors, not just to use them, because they're really important for the process of creation itself. I believe my friends can add more on it.
What comes to mind with the first question, how the importance of providing more time. What comes to my mind is what Professor Gisela told me about when we are creating these mockups that we want to put on our Instagram, and how it's way more important for us to have a quality product than quantity. So we want to, the more we focus on one specific and give it time to understand it. And in that case, with the workshop, at first we wanted to talk about so many things. We had the online classes with Professor Hischler, and we were so amazed with everything. And we want to just bring everything, but he helped us see that it was better to focus on a specific topic and give that all our attention and all our focus. So that was White Solution, Kafka's Ring, and that helped us develop that subject and delve deeper into them, so we could explain more in a more detailed way for the students. So we believe that the importance of the more time is that, so you can fully understand, especially in our university where we are going to become, professionals on the field. I think it's very important for someone who is working on the field, that be creating products or graphic design, to fully understand and to have a complete understanding, and to use all of that with intention and with expertise.
Let's thank our guest speakers today for sharing your inspiring work. And thank you everyone who joined us today and celebrated International Color Day. A couple of announcements. Stay tuned for our next Fluorescent Friday event on Friday, May 2nd, featuring Professor Laura Berman and her students from the Kansas City Art Institute and the USA. Registration information will be posted to the ISCC website in a few weeks. Also, we are inviting you to check our website for our Color Impact 2025. Is the main event for the Color Council. Registration is now open, and it will be held in Rochester Institute of Technology in Rochester, New York, starting June 16 to the 18 into 2025. Full days of color, and then the name of the conference will be Color Impact 2025, Colorless Communication. So full days of colors. So for more information about Fluorescent Fridays events or anything related to the Color Council, please visit our website. You will see in all the information that you needed, and we encourage you to sign up for the newsletters or become a member of the Color Council to find out which university will be illuminating the next Fluorescent Friday Spotlight. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and have a great Fluorescent Friday.
Happy International Color Day.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
a
you
lot.
guys for being here.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Happy International Color Day.
Hello, I would like to say that I'm very proud of my students, Pedro and Josué. They believed in this project, and they are very dedicated and studious. And I see that they have a path to follow in the field of color, which makes me very happy. Thank you a lot. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Professor Hichler.
Thank you, Gisela.
Thank you.